look at tonight's 2-game NHL slate on Draftkings. Only 2 games means 1, the video is going to be shorter than normal, and 2, it's time to get weird if you're trying to take down a tournament. And I might have a way for you to do that tonight based on some of the data here. So let's go through this quickly for our 2 games tonight. Tampa and Florida is game 1. Dallas and Vegas is game 2. Tampa, Florida looks like the more desirable game to find offense in. Those are the 2 teams with the highest targetability ratings. I realize I haven't gone over where the targetability score comes from in the last couple weeks worth of videos. So if you're new to watching them and you're wondering how I got that information, it's a combination of the opposing goalie statistics, both from the regular season and in this case from the playoffs, kind of an amalgamation of those 2 stats, and then combine that with the offense's expected goals for, and then the offense's projected high danger chances for, and all that gets combined to find a targetability rating. Just trying to find a number that encompasses how strong a spot each team's offense is in for every game. And so Florida, Tampa take the top 2 spots tonight. Narrative-wise, I try to stay away from narratives. Typically, this is all about numbers and data and statistics. But in the playoffs, if we want to use the narrative angle, Tampa was down 3-0. They got their win on home ice, and it certainly feels like a gentleman's sweep incoming as Tampa goes back to Florida, and Florida takes care of business and wins 4-1. That's just what it feels like as someone watching the playoffs. So Florida 1 is probably my top line target, followed by Tampa 2 because Tampa's on the road. And that game is pretty cut and dry. Things get a little weirder when we get to the Western Conference. We have Dallas and Vegas tonight. Things are weird because Dallas is, at least in the playoffs so far, has been one of the top shooting teams. I think they are 3rd in the playoffs as far as shots on goal or expected shots on goal. And Vegas is last in expected shots on goal. So Dallas is putting a ton of shots on net. Vegas is not at all. And that makes it hard to target Ottinger in net because his save upside is limited. And it's hard to target Vegas 1 because you have to pay up for some of those guys. And the chance of them hitting the shot bonus, not great in this series. So you're looking for multi-point nights from your Vegas stacks. If you're getting guys like Eichel in particular is expensive. So the question then is how do we attack that second game? So if you look here, Dallas even has the highest projected high danger chances on the slate. So I think going to like Dallas 2, which they haven't done anything in the series until I think Duchesne had 0 shots on goal in game 1 and game 2 at home. Last game on the road in Vegas, he had 4 shots on goal, didn't record any points, but he was putting pucks on net. And so I think Dallas 2 is in an okay spot tonight. You can save some salary going Duchesne and was that rookie Stankoven? Anyway, you can get 2 cheap guys that have power play correlation and even strength correlation. Let me just double check that. Make sure I'm not telling anything. Yeah, Duchesne and Stankoven play on line 2, and they also play on power play 2. So that's a nice spot you can go to save money if you're trying to load up on Tampa and Florida skaters. And then I think a really weird strategy you could employ tonight is actually going with a Dallas 2 stack, but also playing Logan Thompson in net, which is a 2-game slate, so anything's viable here if you're trying to take down a tournament. And I think the way Thompson's been playing and the way Dallas has been shooting, it is fairly viable to play a cheap Dallas stack against your Vegas goalie. Even in the last game, Vegas lost in overtime, and I think Thompson had like 43 saves, gave up 3 goals, had like 17 or 20 fantasy points, which is more than enough to win on a 2-game slate. So not saying that he's going to make 40 saves again or it's going to go to overtime or whatever, but Thompson's been playing really, really well. Dallas has been shooting a lot. The 35 save bonus is certainly in play for Thompson. If it goes to overtime, he gets that overtime point, even if they end up losing. And even if he wins, Dallas can still put up a goal or two, and if it's from that second line, they hit value with essentially one goal as long as they combine for the goal and the assists together. So that is, I think, a way that you can get different that is totally viable, and I might even go that route tonight. So to sum up, Florida 1, Tampa 2 are the top two targets for stacks tonight. These two games don't have a lot of cheap shot blockers, which is unfortunate because I love using those sub 3K guys in these spots as a way to get expensive studs. There's just not any tonight. None that look like they're going to play minutes or have a legitimate shot at the blocks bonus. These three guys, Braden McNabb, Chris Tanev, and Asa Lindell, they, especially McNabb and Tanev, are two guys that are, I say, likely to get the blocks bonus, but they're also not what I would call cheap at $3,700 and $3,400 respectively. They are the best I can do for salary-saving defensemen, though, that I feel comfortable recommending. Anyone else, any of those sub 3K guys, is just a random throw of the dart. There's nothing there that would lead me to say that it's a good spot for them to block shots or play big minutes or anything else. So those three guys are the cheapest viable shot blocking defensemen I can find for tonight's slate. So Florida, Tampa, probably going to stick to most of those skaters if I can, and then if I feel crazy, I might actually go with a Dallas 2 stack against Logan Thompson, my goalie in net. I think that's kind of an interesting and hopefully fun way to be different on tonight's slate. If we get changes in goalies, I'll update the model. The model will be linked in the description down below so that you can have updated access to it in case anything does change. Things got weird yesterday with Shelov starting for DeSmith and with Riddick starting for Cam Talbot. So if you're building lineups later in the day, make sure you check this and confirm that those four goalies are actually the four goalies in net tonight. Let me know if there's anything else you all want to see here, any other stats you think would help you when you're building your lineups, and let me know if you'd like me to put the actual skaters here. I don't think I've ever mentioned this either, but when I'm looking for these stacks, I'm looking for these lines, I typically use daily face-off. Because I'm doing this early, there has not been a morning skate for today, so lines are not updated yet. They're from the last game. So that's why I hesitate to put the skaters, because they could change. So just keep in mind, if you're watching this afternoon, it's 5:30, you're building your lineups, whatever, check Tampa 2, check Florida 1, make sure it's the same three skaters. Look for power play correlation and try to get those guys in there. Okay, good luck tonight, everybody.